Hello all, we are back with some Sage and we're running way behind, so we are going to power through these games, starting off with Dungeon Gals. This is a 2D puzzle game where you play as three different characters. One can shoot, the second can double jump, and the third is a powerhouse. So you'll need to use each one of these characters at certain points in the stage to advance. The one who can shoot is often used for flipping switches in the stage that opens doors, while the double jumper reaches high places, but they cannot swim in the water. And the powerhouse can break down walls. So you can only switch between these characters when standing at these devices placed around the stage. However, no need to worry because they are always present when you actually need to use these things to change to a specific character. Um, and you'll need to use all three characters to complete the task ahead and complete the stage. There's no way to just complete the game playing as only one character. So I thought that this game was okay, but I didn't want to continue playing on the keyboard because to my knowledge it didn't have controller support. Next game is XO9 Battle Goat, and this is a 2D platformer that appears to be inspired by Mega Man X. It was good for the extremely short time that I've played it. You can shoot and kick off walls like Mega Man X. The music in the stage was really good, but there wasn't any controller support. So normally I would play this game anyway and just, play through it with the keyboard, but the controls were just so unusual and uncomfortable. I didn't want to go through playing this way, so I just ended up shutting it off. I think overall that this is a great game. It really needs controller support because I really would love to go and just play through this game some more. Next is Fire Dog Swooce and Rescue. This is a 2D platformer where you play as a dog who is a fighter, and you have to run into these buildings and put out the fires. And you can do moves like wall kicking, sliding, slide jumping to increase the distance of your jump. And you also have a water hose that you can use to put out the fires and shoot enemies that are in the stage. There's a bunch of other moves that you can learn, and the game will teach you with its very informative tutorial stage. It was a fun experience. I really like the game and it has controller support, so I highly recommend this one. This is one of those games that I will try to go back and play some more once we finish all of these games. Next is Food Fight, and I barely played this one because of uncomfortable controls and lack of controller support, as well as the game just not being informative enough. There was a sign that tells me to use food to break a box, like throw food at it, but it doesn't tell me which key that I had to press in order to throw the food. So I'm guessing all the keys, I'm just guessing trying to press all the keys on the keyboard until I finally figured out, which one of the keys it was to break the damn box. So this is one of the many reasons why I prefer to play like these action games, especially like the 2D games on a controller. So I can't really say whether this game is good or bad because I just didn't spend much time with it. I just feel like, it just lacked information on teaching new players how to play the game. The next game is Foxblade Fable, and this is a turn-based RPG. You play as a fox with a sword, and I don't know what the story is behind this because I didn't want to get into the lore of the game because it wasn't finished. There was quite a lot of dialogue and there was some story and things like that, but I'd rather wait till the game is completed before I get into the lore. So the fox, you play as like this fox and this bird. The fox can throw out like sword attacks, and at least at the start, while the bird has like a melee attack and a spell that they could cast embers at the enemy. So the enemy encounters was a bit high sometimes when I was playing this game because it felt like I only had to take a couple steps before I got challenged into another battle. It was okay from what I was playing so far. We was just basically traveling in the sewers and turning these water like these steam valves to cut off the steam so we could get through different areas, pick up keys, and go through locked doors. It seemed like it was really okay. I actually enjoyed this game, but I just didn't want to spend too much time on it because it was turn-based and things like that. But it is definitely good. I definitely recommend that you try this one out. Alright, so from this point on, if you have submitted action games, fighting games, or anything fast-paced without controller support, I'm not going to spend much time on it. Starting with this one. This game is called Frebb Adventure Alliance. I'm not sure if this is a sequel or an overhaul to the previous Frebb Adventure submissions, but this game is just, everything is better. It runs so much smoother. There are NPCs everywhere, as well as detailed backgrounds and some gimmicky obstacles within the stage for you to use your moves to get through. You can jump, crawl, slide, punch, and shoot. The game looks great, and it is a huge upgrade to its previous entries, but I didn't stay on this long because it didn't have controller support. I think the game is great otherwise. Next is Frostbite Friends, a top-down shooter, I guess, and the game got almost no time from me because I had to sit through this unskippable cutscene, and when the game finally started, I didn't know any of my controls. So I'm mashing all the keys on the keyboard to try and do something, and then while doing so, I accidentally spawn in a second player because it's like a two-player game, and then I'm still just trying to figure out all the controls. I learned how to shoot, but only with the second player, and then I accidentally end up shooting the first player from the second player's gun, and then I was just like, what the hell are the controls? So, you know, the timer just started running out, and I was, you know, I didn't even want to get annoyed with this. I just didn't even care anymore. So, I just needed to get through these games. This one didn't capture me. I feel like it needs a little bit more polish. Try it out if you think that it's interesting. Next is Garbage Girl Louise Rebuilt Demo. This is basically a whole new game from the Garbage Girl games that was at previous stages. The art style is a bit different, and the screen feels like it's a bit more zoomed out this time around. The objective and gameplay is mostly the same. It's a 2D platformer where your objective is to clear the stage while fighting through enemies along the way. You can roll into them or pick up bags of trash to throw at them. The game was good, and it has controller support. Next is Geno 2, and it's a 2D platformer that feels like Mega Man. It was actually pretty fun to play. This is a returning entry that I remember playing at a previous stage. I was running around, shooting enemies, kicking off walls, very similar to Mega Man X, and shortly after, playing this game, I just ended up getting stuck because I couldn't figure out where to go. There was like these skeleton enemies around, and they weren't taking any damage from me, I assume, because every time I was shooting them, a bunch of zeros was popping up, so I guess I was doing 0 damage to them. I assumed that maybe I needed a new power-up or a new weapon, so I'm searching around the stage, and I couldn't find anything, so I just didn't know where to go. So I will say that the gameplay was fun, even though it did lack controller support. Next game is Gingersnap, and it is a 3D game on the Unity engine. I have no idea what is going on in this game. It looks like it was really early in development, or it was made as like a school project or something along those lines. It was just not really interesting at all. I was running around in the stage when enemies started attacking me with these weird animations. I couldn't tell whether they were dead or if the game just froze. So I ran into about 3 rooms before I decided to just shut this game off. I really did not enjoy it, to be honest with you. So that's going to do it for me on this video. We powered through a bunch of these games today. I think it's better that I keep the reviews for these games a bit more brief so that I can actually cover all of these titles. The next session that we do, we will cover another large chunk of games. So with all of that being said, I will put the link to the Sage in the description below so you can try these games out yourself. If you are still here, I thank you for watching, and I will see you all soon.